But Mike, I can't get any of my players to play anything but 5e. All my players only love 5e. Yes. So what can you do about that? We're going to dive into that particular, but I'm going to offer some quick ones for you. Talk to them. Ask to run a session or two of these games. Say, hey, I just picked up Numenera, and I was wondering if we wanted to try a short adventure for 3 sessions on Numenera, and we'll do it between sessions, right? Or we'll do it between campaigns. They're a lot more likely to say, sure, I'll give it a shot. If you only start off by, I just want to run a couple of sessions. Now, of course, you have to have a group that's willing to trust you. We're gonna talk about that, but the main thing is like get started by having them talk about it. But what is the actual problem that we run into when we try to get players to play systems that are other than 5e and other than D&D in particular? And it's also the same problem with Starbucks. Let's talk about Starbucks. So there's a reason why Starbucks sells $6 coffee and you can't sell a $6 coffee. Right? This is something that I think RPG creators lament is my thing is just as good as that other thing and nobody comes and buys my thing. And the answer is you don't have a 50-year legacy of the most popular brand in D&D behind you. Starbucks has spent God knows how much money getting it to the point where people recognize Starbucks and they know that if they go into Starbucks and they get a latte, they know what they're going to get. They're willing to get it. You can't crash your black van into somebody walking down the street, jump out in the hood, grab them by the lapels and say, buy my $6 coffee and expect to get anything other than maced. You're probably going to get maced, right? You're scaring them. Don't do that. They don't know who you are. They don't know anything about your $6 coffee. You've built no reputation with them whatsoever. People buy Starbucks and McDonald's and Coke because they know what they're going to get. They've had a lifetime of marketing to build up that trust that other games don't have. And the same is true for D&D. D&D is a lifestyle and lifetime brand. D&D as a brand is older than the average age of the people playing it. D&D is old, right? It's that old. It's old enough that more people are playing it now who weren't even born when it came out. So it's been around for a long time. It has a lot of cred. And that's why players are gravitating towards it. And it's important for us to recognize that fact, that people are drawn to D&D because they've had a lifetime of connecting it. So what do you do in order to kind of deal with that, right? What do we do? Well, there's a few things we do. One, go ahead, and if you have trouble running games, first of all, I like 5e. I love running 5e games, and I love running D&D games. So I'm perfectly happy running D&D and 5e games with my groups. And you shift the brand over as you're running your D&D games. This is one approach. There's probably many approaches, but I'm going to offer one, which is after you've run a lot of games for the same group, you've shifted the brand over from D&D to you and your friends. And now the brand now belongs to you and your friends. They trust you. They know what kind of DM you are. They know what happens when they show up for a game. They know the other players. They know what's going on. And now the brand has shifted. And now that the brand has shifted over to you, now is when you can say, now you pull the puppy dog sale. Right? I checked with my wife because my wife works at a local animal, or she volunteers at a local animal shelter. And I was like, can I talk about the puppy dog sale? She's like, yeah, you can talk about it. It totally works. I was like, okay, I'll talk about the puppy dog sale. The puppy dog sale is you don't say, hey, here's this dog you're going to have to take care of for the next 14 years. Right? You say, hey, here's this dog. Try it out for a few days. Try it out for like 5 days. Right? And you can sort of do this, like, this is the reason they call them foster failures. And a foster failure is like, hey, just foster this dog for 5 days. Well, trust me, if you can live with a dog for 5 days, you could probably live with that dog for the rest of your life, right? Or the rest of its life anyway. And yet the sale worked because you didn't have to commit to anything more than those 5 days, even though it worked. The same is true with RPGs. You don't go in saying, hey, how would you guys like to throw away D&D? I'm tired of running it. I don't want to run D&D anymore, and I want to shift us all to running Cairn. I want to play the lightweight version of Cairn. Oh, by the way, and they're like, well, what's Cairn? And you're like, oh, Cairn is this great RPG. You have far less mechanical character options, and you die a lot more often. And they're like, oh, I don't think I want to do that. And also, I'm not bashing Cairn. Cairn is actually really, really cool. I cannot wait to get my version of Cairn. But there's a way to sell a game, and there's a way not to sell a game. And that first thing that you want to do is say, hey, I have this new game called Cairn that I'd like to try out. Would you guys be willing to run a couple of sessions of it? And you probably want to run a couple of sessions. Somewhere, I think like 2 to 4 sessions is about the minimum needed to really understand a game. Like I ran one session of Shadow the Weird Wizard. We really didn't understand that full system. You really want to play it for a little while to get a better understanding for the system. But players, especially players that you've been playing with for a while, are going to be a lot more likely to say, oh, you're not giving up on D&D. You just want to play Cairn for a few sessions. Sure, I'm willing to play 4 sessions of Cairn. I had multiple groups where I was able to do this. Hey, would we like to try this out? Yeah. Now my groups trust me enough that even if I say, hey, I'd like to run a longer term campaign, like, hey, how would you guys feel about running a Shadow the Weird Wizard campaign? It might go as many as 20 to 22 sessions. They're like, yeah, we'll give it a shot, right? We'll see how it goes. Especially helps if I say, hey, and if we're finding out that this isn't really for us, we can just bail on it, right? If we don't like it, we can just bail on it and try something else. Giving people that is a lot less, it builds a lot less of a commitment with them, and it makes it a lot easier to try these games out. Now, a reality is they might not like the game, and they might want to go back to D&D anyway, right? I go back to D&D all the time. I've run a whole bunch of different RPGs, and now I'm back to 5e again because it's really good. I really like it, right? My friends like it. I like it. It's really good. So it's not automatic that if you say, oh, if I get my friends to all play Cairn and we really like it, that all my friends are going to shift over to Cairn and we're never going back to D&D again. I might have situations where some of the players are like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And other players are like, yeah, I kind of like the crunchiness, right? Even we played Shadowdark. I played almost a year-long Shadowdark campaign, and we really had a good time. And my player said, that was really fun. I would totally play it again. But I'm also looking forward to the mechanical crunch of a deep 5e system too. And so we're like, okay, we're going to play that too, right? So those are some of the tricks, right? Those are some of the ways to try to help, get players to be more willing to try other systems that you might want to try out. Another one is like you might end up where you have some players that want to try it or some players that want to play it and other players that don't, and you might have to split groups up, right? You might have to say, okay, our main group, we're going to continue with 5e. Hey, would you 3, maybe I can get 2 others and we can play, another day of the week, we could play this other game, right? Like you can do little tricks like that to do it. But when I asked GMs about this over on like a YouTube question about it, and I said like, how do you get your players to play other games? By far, the majority of people said, my group trusts me to run the games that we're going to run because they built a different brand. The brand is not D&D anymore. You didn't go to a bunch of random people and say, hey, how about instead of D&D, you want to run Cairn with me? And they're like, well, I don't know who you are and I don't know what Cairn is. So no, right? You didn't drive the black van up and smash into the wall and jump out with your hood and be like, you're playing Cairn. And they're like, no, I want to play 5e. So instead, what you did is you build a reputation with a group so they know you, they trust you, they love the games that they're playing, and you say, hey, for a couple of sessions, how would you like to try this other thing? I think that's the best approach to getting people to try other games. And that is your approach to see. If you want to see what D&D 6e would look like from a bunch of different designers who worked on it, this is your opportunity to see what these other versions of D&D are like. And they're really, really good. They're fun. They're fun versions of the game. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did and you want to see more stuff like this from me, please subscribe to the Sly Flourish newsletter. It is absolutely free to sign up. You can find a link down in the show notes. You get a free adventure generator for signing up, and you get an RPG-related article sent directly to your inbox. You can also support me directly on Patreon. Patrons get all kinds of stuff. I talked about it early in the show, all the different kinds of things that you get. And you can also pick up any of my books, including Return to the Lazy Dungeon Master, The Lazy DM's Companion, Forge of Foes, City of Arches, and more on the Sly Flourish bookstore. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and get out there and play an RPG.